Cat Williams' remark was not merely a casual one. He stepped onto the stage, leaned toward the microphone, and made a remark that made everyone pay attention. His voice, quick and confident, implied that Michelle Obama had supposedly dated women rather than men. Uncertain if they heard him correctly, the audience paused at the comment. The room responded a few moments later with a mixture of incredulity and hilarity. Williams is renowned for his methodical approach to audacious assertions. It's rare for him to say something like this aimlessly. He has established a reputation over his career for making startling claims that seem supported by evidence. His statements didn't merely stir things up this time. They damaged one of the most reputable political couples in America's public perception. It is well known that Cat Williams speaks about subjects that other people shun. He exposes Washington and Hollywood's covert rumors to the public. This is the same Williams who has long cautioned that some well-known people may have private lives they would want to keep hidden. He seems to speak with purpose rather than merely seeking attention, based on his previous remarks. Therefore, it didn't sound like a joke when he said that Michelle Obama had romantic relationships with women. It seemed more like the initial indication of a larger tale that was about to be revealed. There was a straight inquiry hanging in the air. What's the likelihood that the rest of the world will discover what Williams really knows? For years, Michelle Obama has been seen as the epitome of grace, wisdom, and loyalty. Her lectures emphasizing family values, immaculate media appearances, and steadfast support of her husband have all established her public persona. Her signature image is that one. However, there might be a very different tale under the well-polished exterior if Cat Williams' assertion is accurate. It makes one wonder whether the marriage that the world looks up to is actually as simple as it seems. What Barack knew and whether he decided to keep quiet are the next questions to be answered if such allegations are true. Williams simply hinted at a more serious problem that was just waiting to be revealed. Soon after, stories started to circulate about a California property that was allegedly connected to Michelle. It was neither a public area nor a place that was frequently visited. It was characterized instead as a remote home, apart from the typical political limelight. It has been reported that she has made multiple inconspicuous visits to this area without any apparent professional purpose. The assertion that she meets with women who have their identities well hidden adds intrigue. She does not have these acquaintances by her side at public events or galas. If the conversation is accurate, this is not a sporadic retreat. It is an entirely private and distinct aspect of her life that is not disclosed to the general public. It's difficult not to think of another contentious incident from 2014, when Joan Rivers made news with an uncensored remark. Most people at the time dismissed her outspoken claims that Michelle was transsexual and Barack Obama was gay as Joan's trademark aggressive, outlandish, and shock-inducing manner. She added casually, "We all know." Only a few weeks later, though, Joan passed away suddenly during a medical procedure, a timing that many people found troubling. Conspiracy theories connected her remarks to her demise, and her death fueled a surge of online conjecture. In certain internet forums, the story became a legend in itself. These old beliefs are now coming to light once more as Cat Williams makes his own accusations. Many people believe that the conversation has returned to its previous level. New accusations are merging with old suspicions, giving a story that won't go away new life. This issue involves more than just allegations of covert relationships. The time frame is also important. Michelle's absence from significant public events has drawn attention. She missed both Donald Trump's inauguration with Barack and the funeral of former President Jimmy Carter. These absences are publicly justified as due to scheduling issues or a disdain of political pageantry. However, in a setting where rumors circulate swiftly, every absence merely raises more queries. The discussion has even been expanded by Meghan McCain, who claims that reliable reporters have informed her that Barack and Michelle might not only be having marital problems but also be living apart. Even without supporting evidence, an allegation like that nonetheless obtains traction once it is made public. And then there's the Hollywood turn. Entertainment sites have been spreading a completely different rumor about Barack and actress Jennifer Aniston for months. Both parties have refuted the allegation. In an interview, Jennifer joked that she had only met Barack once and that she truly knew Michelle better. However, the fact that Katt Williams made references to Michelle's personal life at the same time that this allegation surfaced makes for a convoluted story. It's like seeing a slow-building collision, where every new rumor hits the one before it until it's hard to ignore it all. There is still talk of a private vacation in California. It is the type of property that is intended for total privacy, according to one source, with sufficient separation from nearby properties to guarantee that guests can enter and depart undetected. Those close to the Obamas may have responded to the public with restraint and caution if Michelle has actually been spending time there with a particular company. In an attempt to convey intimacy, Barack recently posted a picture of Michelle and him holding hands across a dinner table with the words "Love you" as a birthday greeting. However, it seemed manufactured to several observers. The formality of the message, the rigid framing, and the lighting were all criticized online, with many people questioning whether the photograph was staged or a real occasion. Public opinion is quite important in political weddings. Therefore, this kind of presentation is nothing new. Even though reality offers a different tale, both people frequently have great motivations to maintain that impression. The timing of Katt Williams is noteworthy because of this. He didn't say it carelessly. It was part of a year that was already replete with scandals and public humiliations. According to Williams, significant figures will have to confront long-hidden realities this year. Additionally, a lot of people are keeping a careful eye on him because of his history of making claims that subsequently come to be believed. People have been on edge, anticipating whatever he says next to either support or refute the stories that have already begun. When you combine Katt Williams' comment with the escalating rumors, the mysterious absences, the purported escape to California, the resurrected Joan Rivers claims, and the Hollywood chit-chat, the picture that emerges is anything but stable. No one close to the Obamas has, however, come forward to specifically address it. It is noteworthy that they chose to say nothing. When it comes to public controversies, sometimes silence speaks louder than denial. The absence of a response merely heightens interest and creates room for conjecture. Unanswered questions remain as many wonder what is actually going on behind closed doors in one of the most famous marriages in America. How much of the rumors are based on fact? If there is more to the tale, when will the public be made aware of it? Joan Rivers was well known for her witty remarks and unafraid stage persona for many years. However, in July 2014, she made a casual remark on the street that seemed to have a lot of weight. She was unafraid to answer the question of whether America would ever have its first female or homosexual president. She laughed and said, "We already have it with Obama, you know." Michelle is before leaving, unconcerned by the reporter's response. In New York, a few weeks later, Rivers had what was supposed to be a straightforward throat operation. She never fully recovered consciousness, complications developed, and her condition deteriorated. A number of medical mistakes were cited in official accounts. However, the timing of her remarks and her passing has long been regarded with suspicion. In rumors, as though they were related. It may or may not be a coincidence, but that hypothesis has been brewing for years and comes up again whenever the Obamas are the focus of fresh rumors. Now that Cat Williams has made similar incisive comments, the comparisons are inevitable. Joan, who died within a month of challenging one of the most well-known political couples, is doing something similar in a time when social media amplifies everything that is said. A warning to some that revealing certain facts might have serious repercussions. The shadow of Joan Rivers' fate looms over the conversation, especially because Michelle is already the subject of rumors regarding secret retreats in California. Although Michelle's name has been circulating in the rumor mill for a while, Barack hasn't been entirely immune. One storyline connected to Hollywood has challenged his long-standing reputation as a loving husband, due in large part to a tabloid cover portraying Jennifer Aniston as a purported source of strain in the Obama marriage. Her name has appeared alongside his more than once in the past year. Speaking on television, Aniston denied the report outright and stated that she had only ever met Barack once. However, the fact that a headline like that made it to the front page of a magazine demonstrates how widespread conjecture has become. All it takes for a rumor to gain traction in a world where politics and celebrity collide is a little proximity and the perfect moment. To the way the rumors about Jennifer Aniston and Michelle's different lives overlap gives the drama an additional depth. The issue shifts if it is reported that both partners are pursuing friendships outside of their marriage in completely distinct social circles. How long this has been going on and what keeps them together are more important questions now than if the reports are accurate. Marriage can be used in politics as a strategic alliance as well as a personal tie. If that connection has subtly changed from being emotional to being strategic, the public can be the last to notice. It's not only bright to live under the kind of concentrated spotlight that the Obamas do, it's blinding. Every gesture, facial expression, and exchange is examined by millions. Such examination can eventually weaken the innate intimacy between two people. One can substitute a sense of performance for intimacy. Even private encounters can feel staged because of the knowledge that a camera may be in the area. What may have begun as a common goal may develop into a controlled brand. The perception of Barack and Michelle as a couple may start to overshadow the truth of their relationship in that area. Even high-profile couples are often romanticized because we see them as immune to the problems that most relationships face on a daily basis. In practice, the risks are frequently higher for the powerful. Even little conflicts run the risk of turning into public drama in order to maintain a perfect image. Conflicts about lifestyle decisions, work choices, or time spent apart can degenerate into silent conflicts waged under continual threat of publicity. The concessions required to preserve a common public narrative can gradually undermine the solace that two individuals with strong, autonomous identities once received from one another. Fixing a relationship at that level behind closed doors is nearly impossible once it starts to sag. Privacy is hard to come by. Staff, friends, and advisors are always close by, each with their own interests and allegiances. In a society where isolation is uncommon, the Obamas have used their alone time to reconnect, unlike most couples. It might be more about survival making room to maintain public decorum than adultery if they are really living different lives. The true tragedy might be that they became prisoners of the image they created. It's possible that as the love tale became ingrained in the national consciousness, it grew heavier. Any departure from the public's expectation that they will continue to serve as symbols of solidarity and optimism might feel like a betrayal, not just to one another but also to the audience that supports them. In this way, the stress extends beyond marriage and is connected to their positions in the global community. Were they just victims of their own success, caught up in a narrative so well written that it did not allow for the reality about them? The Obamas may have felt that the pressure to preserve their legacy overshadowed their right to live an honest life, which is a disturbing notion, especially considering how many other celebrities and politicians have also experienced the same silent disintegration behind beautifully manicured smiles. In private, one must navigate a significantly more complex reality while maintaining a fine balance between displaying perfection in public . Controlling the visuals at all costs is an unwritten rule in high-profile relationships. The arranged photos, the well-written yet circumspect remarks, and the birthday tributes that seem more like public declarations than private gestures may all be explained by this. Each handshake in front of the camera and each Happy Meal photo contributes to a well-constructed story. Whether due to scheduling conflicts or political exhaustion, Michelle's absence from some high-profile events simply serves to further distance the public image from the quiet speculation. The more contrived these moments seem, the more people wonder what's purposefully kept unnoticed. The combination of the Hollywood whispers, the resurrected Joan Rivers story, and Cat Williams' scathing remark feels more like a trend to those who are paying close attention than a coincidence. Together, these trends point to a marriage negotiating pressures well above the norm. Even years after leaving the White House, the attention that never goes away amplifies the pressures from both private choices and the demands of public life. The tension between the whispered theories and the polished image is what gives this story its longevity. This story persists because of the belief that the truth may be lurking just beyond the boundaries of the images we are permitted to view. Whereas most political rumors eventually die out, high-profile relationships almost never end without some sort of warning, if history is any indication. Frequently, the hints are present but only become apparent in retrospect. Are we witnessing those indications with the Obamas right now? Or are we exaggerating a narrative that has been meticulously crafted to seem infallible? It is possible that Cat Williams views himself as only speaking facts that others are unwilling to confront. And if his track record of making audacious statements is any guide, the months ahead may bring more than just offensive jokes. They might provide information that contradicts the beliefs of even the most devoted followers. What does it say about the realities of power if the Obamas, who have long been seen as icons of harmony, achievement, and unwavering love, are engulfed in a torrent of gossip and scrutiny? That is the major question that remains. What additional facts might be lurking just out of the spotlight, waiting for the proper opportunity to surface, if Williams is right? This could be more than just a single marriage. It could serve as a warning that every public persona has a personal price.